You understand that you are extensions of source energy and that you are here focused, oh, wonderful word, focused, in this physical time-space reality on this leading edge, in this contrasting environment for the purpose of helping you to conclude new preferences. Do you get that? Do you realize that it is through the exposure to life that what you want occurs to you, it evolves from your experience, and that you emanate or radiate vibrationally or electronically those preferences, and that you do not have to ever put one word to a desire because you communicate to the universe vibrationally. So whenever you're living what you don't want, a rocket of desire about what you do want shoots out of you, and Source recognizes it and hears it and joins it and becomes vibrationally one with it. That's the reason that when you ask, it is always given. In the moment that anything occurs to you at any level of your consciousness, even cellular, you emanate a vibration. Source follows the vibration of your desire. And do you know that the entire evolution of your reality, the evolution of your species, the evolution of your planet, the evolution of everything that you know happens because of that. So the things you want are understood and added to by the energy of your source. That's what we mean when we say ask and it is always given, every single time. But then you say, well, if that's true, where's my stuff? Because I've been asking and I'm not yet receiving or manifesting many of the things that I know I've been asking for. And we say, well, then there must be some vibrational difference between what you're asking for and where your source now is about it and where you are. Vibrational relativity. Do you know that your emotional guidance system is based upon that vibrational relativity? Jerry and Esther have a guidance system in their vehicles that works on the same principle. It is the relativity between where they are and where they want to go. The contraptions in the vehicles and the satellites in the sky and the antennas on the roof triangulate their position so Magellan knows at all times where they are. And then they program in the destination of where they want to be, and then Magellan calculates the route and then gives them verbal and visual description. Turn here, turn here, turn here, go this way, go this way, go this way. If Jerry and Esther become rebellious and do not follow the highlighted route, Magellan says, please return to the highlighted route. Please return to the highlighted route. Please return to the highlighted route. Eventually, Jerry says, shut that broad up. It's a woman's voice. The man's voice was too bossy. And if they still do not return to the highlighted route, often Magellan will say, when possible, make a legal U-turn. Magellan is calculating the difference between where they are and where they say they want to go. And you have guidance within you that is doing exactly the same thing. Once you've launched a desire, even when you're not fully consciously aware of it, do you know that everything you live causes you to offer that vibration? Someone's rude to you, you launch a vibration. You'd like people to be nicer, not only to you, but just nicer in general. Traffic is uncomfortable. You launch a rocket that said you'd like to find a more comfortable way. You have too much to do. You launch a rocket that says, I would like more ease in my life. You don't have enough money. You launch a rocket that says, I'd like more money. You launch a rocket that said, I'd like more money. You launch a rocket that says, that happens quite a bit. You launch a rocket that said, I'd like more money. Someone you love doesn't seem to be reciprocating. You launch a rocket. I want this person to love me, or I want to be loved by some person. In other words, all day, every day, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, no matter who you're doing it with, you are launching preferences vibrationally. And Source hears every one of them. So you have this future experience that is accumulating out there. In fact, you have such magnificent future experiences that we do not believe that you could even articulate them with your words. They are that wonderful. Because you've been launching rockets of desires, and you've been amending your desires. And your Source is taking such delight in the contrasting work that you've been doing, and is riding every rocket of every desire. In other words, when you conclude vibrationally, consciously or unconsciously, that you prefer something better for yourself, Source goes there immediately. So now, this vibrational relativity between what you want and where source is around it and where you are right now is what your emotional guidance system is telling you about. The better you feel, the more you are on your path. The worse you feel, the more you are diverting from your path. And that negative emotion that you feel is your guidance saying, please return to the highlighted route. You do not set your radio dial on 6:30 a.m. and expect to hear what's being broadcast on 98 FM. You know the frequencies have to match up. And you can't set your radio dial on I don't have enough money and my kids shouldn't be asking for so much and let in the money that you're wanting at the same time. It cannot happen. You have to become a vibrational match to what you're asking for. So then the often asked question, certainly understandable why you would ask it, is, well, if I'm living something far different than what I want, my body's hurting, or my lover left me, or I don't have enough money, or something's happened to somebody I love, how do I stay a vibrational match to what I'm wanting when what I don't want is so enveloping, so in my face? And we say, somehow, some way, you have to withdraw your attention from what you don't want and apply your attention to what you do want. Easier said than done, isn't it? And the reason that it's easier said than done immediately is because law of attraction, remember those frequencies, is only making available to you thoughts, ideas, memories that are pretty close to where your active vibration is. In other words, if you've been beating the drum of not enough money for quite a long time, just because you now have concluded that you want more money does not mean that you can immediately just stop doing that and start vibrating over here. It's a quantum leap. It's a vibrational jump that no one makes. Law of attraction doesn't allow you to make it. So don't beat up on yourself when you're not able to change your mood or attitude instantly from not enoughness in something to complete expectation of something. No one does that. When some bright-eyed, bushy-tailed student of Abraham or teacher of Abraham stands before you, watching you in your misery or in your lack of something that you want, and they take that poignant moment to announce to you that you are the creator of your own reality, you want to say to them, that can't be true or you'd be gone. Because the last thing you want is someone who's succeeding at something you want to succeed in, flapping in your face about how you create your own reality or how you need to cheer up. Because we know that if you could cheer up, you would, because you want to feel better. Everyone does. No one feels miserable on purpose. You see, when you are focused upon something, and by focus we mean thinking about it, we mean remembering it, pondering it, observing it, imagining it, contemplating it. Whether you are focused into the past or the present or the future, you're doing it all right now. And in doing it, you are activating a vibration. And as you activate a vibration, there is immediate awareness of the vibrational relativity between you and what you're activating right now and who you really are and what you really want. Isn't that wonderful to know? So in every moment that you're focused upon anything, you're getting in the moment, instant, accurate, important feedback from your source. Your source isn't saying to you, you're bad, therefore we are giving you negative emotion. Your source is saying to you, you are choosing with your free will to focus in a way that has you vibrationally resistant to who you really are and what you want. You are defying your own creative inheritance. Now what we mean by that is you came into this body as an extension of source energy, knowing that this well-stocked kitchen of wonderful contrast would help you to individually conclude your preferences. And Source was delighted in the uniqueness of your perspective. Source understands that when you are having your unique experience, you're going to conclude a unique desire, and the universe expands every time you do that. So this workshop is not about the expansion of the universe. That's a given. That's going to happen. This workshop is not about Source benefiting by your exposure to contrast. That happens all day, every day. Every time you conclude something, Source rides that rocket and the universe expands. This workshop is about you and your vibrational relationship to the creations, the magnificent creations that you are setting forth and where you stand right now. So, you've launched this rocket of desire. And the way you feel is your indication of how you're doing usually vibrationally about it. So when you focus upon something, you activate a vibration. And if you activate that vibration for as little as 17 seconds, which means just don't change the subject, maintain your opinion, your attitude, your focus upon it. In 17 seconds, another thought like it will join it. And its power increases. If you maintain it for another 17 seconds, another thought like it joins it. And by the time you've focused for as little as 68 seconds, you've established a vibrational frequency that means that this is for now your point of attraction. And that point of attraction now is giving you immediate feedback between this point of attraction and this point of attraction. In other words, the source energy point of attraction and where you are focused right here and now. Now, if you stay focused there longer, this activated vibration becomes what we call a dominant activated vibration, a dominant vibration. And that's all a belief is. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. But we want to call it a vibration rather than a thought, because sometimes you have opinions or attitudes about so many different things that you can't even isolate the thought. In other words, when you feel like people aren't nice to you and you start feeling like a victim, then everybody picks on you in one way or another. The weather rains on you, and the road gets potholes to irritate you, and the traffic lights defy you, and the people that you know are rude to you. In other words, it seems like nothing goes well for you, like there's this huge conspiracy out there of people who hold meetings just to see how they can make your life miserable. And we promise you, it's not that way at all. You've just activated a vibration long enough that you are holding yourself apart from all of the good stuff that you've been telling the universe that you want and absolutely deserve. So as you begin to pay attention to the way you feel, you can begin little by little to release the vibrations that are not serving you while you enhance the vibrations that are. So when we say to you, don't try to reach for the best feeling thought that you or anybody has ever thought, you're not going to make that jump. You're going to fall in the crack and you're going to feel worse for having done it. Instead, make a decision that you're going to reach for the best feeling thought you can find. The best feeling thought you have access to right now. So from depression, that best feeling thought might very well be revenge. It might be. And if you've ever been in a place of total disempowerment, doesn't revenge sort of sound all right for a minute? So if you are in the place of depression and you find the life-giving breath of fresh air that rage or anger will bring you, stop and say, and this is so important, I can feel the relief of my choice of thought. And even though I don't plan to stay here forever, it sure feels better than where I was. I chose this better feeling thought and I brought relief to myself. Because when you say that, you have now regained your power, haven't you? And isn't that what all of these emotions are about anyway? Being the creator of your own experience, regaining your power, getting to choose a vibration that will cause you alignment with Source. Sometimes people say, Abraham, do I really get to choose? And we say, well, your source is within you. You would not choose things that are not a vibrational match to that which you call God or that which you call good and feel good at the same time. If you made the choice to murder someone, you would not feel good in that choice unless they were about to murder you and it was a choice that felt better than that. In other words, your inner being is always guiding you to the feeling that is the best that you have access to right now. And what happens with most humans is you condemn the action rather than being aware of the vibration that is the motivation for the action. We're wanting you to understand that when you make a decision that you're going to feel your way moving up the emotional scale, what you're actually saying is, I'm choosing increasingly better thoughts, better meaning. I'm choosing increasingly thoughts that are more in vibrational alignment with my source. And in time, you will be in this vibration of well-being so much of the time that you will rarely, if ever, dip into the lower, not so good feeling emotions. But we want you, and this is key, to make a decision today that you're going to make peace with where you are. Because where you are is where you are. Magellan doesn't say to Jerry and Esther as they program their destination in, oh, you want to get there from there? Magellan doesn't say, I'm not going to give it to you because you didn't listen to me yesterday. Magellan doesn't say, it's too great of a distance from where you are to where you want to go.